I am Magnus Karlsson from Sweden. I am a torture victim by the Nazi governments in Sweden and the Satanism. The Nazi governments and the Satanism and the witches, they have destroyed my life totally, tortured me all the time, all my life, and killed my parents and grandparents. The Nazism takes order of Satan Boge and his witches. He inspires them. This Satan Boge, that name comes originally from the Nordic mythology. In the beginning of the Nordic mythology, that name comes probably from the child to the ice giant Ymer, a man without no heart, no feelings but hate. I can tell you that this devil Boge, he is Bo Gerenmark in Gothenburg. He is a man that is a devil, but he wishes that he is a God, an almighty God. He sees himself like a God. It's not strange that they have so many Hell's Angels in that city. But Mr. Gerenmark himself is of course a believer, officially, in the Christianity. By the way, I can also tell you that the name Boge, that stands for Bo Gerenmark, is in the Russian language the same as God. They are sincere, the Russians. Mr. Gerenmark sees himself as a God, and I guess the Russian has preceded him too. The devil and the Satanists and the Nazis, of course, they have now forgiven the crimes that the Jews did against the Nazis during World War II, since they want their military help, their nuclear weapons to use at Russia in World War III, just as they want the help of the terrorist Muslim countries. And they have bond links to the Negroes in Africa too. All of the wooden gods, believers and worshippers, just like the Nordic mythology. And the crimes that the Jews did against the Nazis during World War II, it was of course that they didn't become totally exterminated, the whole race, by Adolf Hitler and his Nazis. When I talk about Nazism and Satanism and the devil and Witchmaster Boge, I also see the Satanism in Israel. Benjamin Netanjahu, you are becoming once again the Primeminister of Israel. And you have been in special squads, spy, and in the army. You was in an Operation Gift, of course. Very suitable for a man that poisoned Yasser Arafat, the Arabic leader, to his death. You and your dead friend, the butcher Ariel Sharon, you're bloody murderers. I can tell you too, Mr. Benjamin Netanjahu, that I really hope that you get my personal hate letter from me to you in 2021. I delivered it to the Russian embassy in Hague to be delivered to you personally, with a copy to the Russian embassy and President Putin too, of course. I want it revealed to the world, of course. I also made a very suitable drawing of you and your terrorist friend to dictator Recep Tayyip Erdogan in Turkey, the land which many Swedish colonies are founded. Good bands with Sweden since the time of the Vikings. In this drawing, I see you, Mr. Netanjahu, as a man with a lizard's head, with a tongue of a snake split it into two, where you demand Mr. Erdogan to do a blowjob on you, to satisfy you and give you respect. And it did it, of course, with pleasure, as the Muslim that is. You serve the Satanists and the Nazis now, Mr. Netanjahu. And Europe is ruled by Nazism, by the Nordic countries, Sweden, Norway, and with the help of the Boer people in the Netherlands, of course. The three dominant countries now, I see it. And they lead NATO too, with a Nazi leader, the superior commander Jens Stoltenberg. So, I see, you allied countries of Nazism and Satanism, NATO countries, the European Union. Sweden rules the European Union soon. It has been the Netherlands that ruled it before. And Sweden rules the Nazism with a mafia leader, and from the Nazi social democracy, Stefan Löfven, the murderer of my mother, Siv Karlsson. And of course, a mafia-man like Mr. Löfven is very appreciated by you, the mafia itself, Benjamin Netanjahu. You are my enemy, Mr. Netanjahu, of course, and I am on your death list as an enemy to the Nazi social democracy in Sweden and to the Nazi development, the Nazis and Satanists in Ukraine, ruled by the terrorist Volodymyr Zelensky. I am on his death list. I am a supporter to President Vladimir Putin in Russia and his governments. He is a good and sincere man. I hope he erases you and exterminates you when you are supporting NATO and the terrorist countries in the Arab states attacking Russia to start World War III. You are a little country in Israel. Just as Satan II bomb would erase you, the whole country. I see it like that. Then it doesn't matter how many nuclear weapons you have. You are a mafia man and a murderer, Mr. Benjamin Netanjahu. And you are supporting Nazism. You are going to bed with them. I hope you like it. You have already done it. And you think you are going to have the Americans on your side too, in war against Russia, to exterminate and replace President Putin. Perhaps. But the Satan Boge, he wants the apocalypse. He wants the extermination of all the human race in favor of the witches. As I see it, you in Israel are ruled by Satanism since long time ago. Or should I say, from the beginning of the time, itself. Satanism. You killed Jesus Christ, of course. Jesus the witch from Nazareth. A fooled man by the snake. You are ruled by mafia in Israel, and by the witches, of course, with witchcraft. You are carrying the gay gene, the homosexual gene that the witches have, the male witches in special, infecting and raping and brainwashing normal human beings, gay lovers, the country of gays that is Israel, just as Sweden and the Netherlands. May you face death in war, Mr. Benjamin Netanjahu. I hope that President Putin and Russia puts an end of your dictatorship.